What is the best race for a druid in World of Warcraft? Is it the race with the deepest lore, or is it the one with the most outrageously cool druid forms? Hey everyone, Carnabius here, and welcome back to the series where we break down the best race and class combinations in Azeroth. Today, we're tackling one of the most iconic and visually diverse classes in the game, the Druid. For this video, instead of going tier by tier, we're going to analyze every single druid race in alphabetical order. I'll break down their lore, significant characters, druid forms, and just their overall coolness. Only after we've looked at all of them will I reveal the final tier list at the end. So stick around to see where your favorite lands. Let's get started. First up in our druid analysis, the Darkspear Trolls. The jungle voodoo dinosaur priest theme is awesome. Let's face it, turning into a blue bat is a huge selling point. Even their more traditional forms have their unique color variations that leave no question as to what race is behind them. Whether it's those highlighted blues or those vibrant greens, yellows, and oranges. Their connection to the Loa provides a fantastic, non-standard take on druidism. Zentabra is the most notable Darkspear druid, but has really only had minor roles throughout the expansions. Additionally, they can feel a bit more like a preview of something greater, as their forms, while unique, don't have that same wow factor as some that we'll see later on in this tier list. Next, we have the High Mountain Tauren. Their lore is solid as a continuation of the ancient Tauren traditions, and their connection to the mountain spirits is great. Visually, the moose antlers are a fantastic touch that sets them apart from their cousins, but ultimately, they feel more like a cosmetic variant rather than a fundamentally new druid fantasy. They're a great choice, but they struggle to stand out in a crowd of very unique options. This is especially true considering that they have no real prominent druids in the story to date. Moving on to the Kultiran. On their druid forms alone, the Kultirans are legendary. The wicker and bone constructs are breathtakingly unique, and I would argue some of the best modeling work done in this game. This folk horror druid, drawing power from the cycle of life and death, is a completely fresh and brilliant take on the class. Their only weak point is their lore is newer and it's a bit more isolated from the main Cenarian Circle storyline. But even with saying that, Ulfar is an interesting character for the Kultirans, and I would like to see more of him in the future. Of course, we have to talk about the Night Elf. It is impossible to tell the story of Druidism without them. They were the first, they were taught by Cenarius. Yeah, the Cenarius, you know, offspring of the great white stag Malorn and the Night Elf deity Elune. They are led by Malfurion Stormrage, the most powerful mortal druid in history. They even have evil offshoots, such as the Druids of the Flame. I would say, if you guys are interested in the Druids of the Flame, Nobbel has a great video on it that I would highly recommend. Definitely tune in and check out his video on it. Their entire culture, their cities, their beliefs, it all revolves around the Emerald Dream. While their forms are nothing special, in my opinion, they are classic, and I felt that they benefited greatly from the visual update they received. Since the Night Elves have interesting heroic druids, and even interesting villainous druids, it just puts them far and away as the druid, in my opinion. Next up, the original Horde Druid, the Mighty Tauren. The Tauren are the spiritual heart of the Horde's connection to nature. Taught by Cenarius himself, and led by the legendary Hamul Rune Totem. They are the perfect embodiment of the wise protector of the wild. For the Earth Mother. Like the Night Elves, they have more classic forms, but I will say I do love the Brown Moonkin, because to me, that is the definitive Moonkin. I'm sorry if you like your purple one. I think that's what the Night Elves are. I think they're purple Moonkins, but I'm all for that brown Moonkin. I like my brown boom chicken. You can't tell me otherwise. To me, they are an incredible, near-perfect choice for a druid. They represent the classic, powerful, and patient side of nature. Now for the Worgen. Thematically, the Worgen fantasy is incredible. The gothic, beast within a beast concept is an easy A-tier idea. This is only compounded upon based on the fact that they are the result of a Night Elf druid ritual gone wrong. Their forms are savage, and their lore is tragic and compelling, and they represent the uncontrollable fury of nature. I will say they're held back slightly by a lack of major named lore character to anchor their identity. Sometimes they feel more like a collective without that one legendary art druid to look up to. I will add an asterisk to that. It's not like a major lore character, but you may be familiar with the Celestine of the Harvest. She is a harvest witch, which is a group of ancient tribal humans who sought to use crude nature-based magic. The reason why this ancient tribal flavor was able to survive was because of Gilneas being largely isolated from the rest of the Eastern Kingdoms. And finally, the Zandalari Troll. What the Night Elves have in lore, the Zandalari have in pure, jaw-dropping fantasy. They don't just shapeshift, they turn into armored dinosaurs. Their guardian form is a walking fortress. Their flight form is a pterodactyl.
Not like other girls. I'm not even a girl. I'm a pterodactyl.
They take the core concept of being a druid and make it way cooler than it has any business being, representing the ultimate evolution of what a druid's visual identity can be. And just to touch briefly on the prominent characters for the Zandalari Troll Druids, you first of all have the War Druid Lodi. She's the primary Zandalari Druid character that players interact with. She's the leader of the Lun Alai, the specific order of Zandalari Druids. And you'd also have to touch on Gonk, the Loa of the Hunt. This is the most significant figure in Zandalari Druidism. Gonk is the Loa, the troll equivalent of a wild god. Think like Malorn, the white stag we talked about earlier. Gonk taught the Zandalari how to be druids in the first place. The lore states that the other Loa were selfish and would only grant the form of their respective animal, i.e. like Kimball the tiger would only let you turn into a tiger. Gonk broke this rule and taught the first Zandalari how to tap into the power of all of the Loa, allowing them to shapeshift into multiple forms. Alright, we've analyzed every race. We've seen what makes each of them special. It's time to put it all together. Here is the actual tier list. Starting at the bottom in C tier, we have the High Mountain Tauren. It's a solid race with great visuals, but it just doesn't differentiate itself enough from a lore and character perspective, in my opinion. In B tier, we have the Worgen and the Darkspear Trolls. They both have interesting themes, but are really held back by a lack of lore focus and kind of being overshadowed by more spectacular alternatives. For A tier, we have a couple of powerhouses in the Coltiran and the Tauren. One brings a totally unique fantasy to the table with all of its forms, while the other one perfectly embodies the classic Horde Druid. Both are phenomenal choices. And that brings us up to the S tier. And today it's a shared throne. We have two kings, representing two different kinds of greatness. The S tier of Legacy, the Night Elf, quintessential Druid. And on the other side, the S tier of Spectacle, the Zandalari Troll. One is the soul of the class, and the other one is the ultimate fantasy. Both are the best of the best, in my opinion. Oh, and one last thing for those who are looking ahead to the future of the World Soul Saga. You're probably wondering about the brand new Harnir allied race that was announced for the Midnight expansion. Just take a look at these incredible forms. A vicious Wolverine-inspired feral form, a unique primal bat flight form. The entire aesthetic is absolutely fantastic. So, where would they land on the list? Based on the sheer strength of these unique forms and their undeniable coolness factor, I'm projecting them to be a very strong A-tier contender right out the gate. We're obviously hoping that their lore will be compelling enough to give them a strong, unique identity, but, and this is a big but, I'm totally mature and we'll make a joke about that. I'm not above it. We're not betting on them launching with a major significant lore character like Hamul Rune Totem, or like a Malfurion. New races hardly do. That lack of a legendary figure, I would argue, is what would likely keep them out of that S-tier conversation for now. But we'll see. So there you have it, my complete breakdown and ranking of the Druid races. What does your list look like? Is there a race that you think I underrated? One I overrated? Let me know in the comments below. I read and I try to reply to every single one of them. Also, I was hoping that you guys could comment down below what class you want to see next time. And the most frequently commented, or maybe the most top suggestion, will be the one we cover next time. If you like this breakdown, please consider leaving a like, and if you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. This is Carnabius, signing out. Hope you all have a good day.